Justine believes in things the way young people believe in things, completely, without the protective layer of cynicism that arrives later, after enough disappointments have accumulated to make certainty feel dangerous. She is a college student. She is the daughter of a United Nations official. She has grown up adjacent to the machinery of global justice without ever quite getting her hands into it. And when a fellow student named Carlos begins organizing an action to stop illegal development in the Amazon rainforest, she signs up with the specific eagerness of someone who has been waiting for a cause that feels proportionate to how much she cares. The plan is not subtle, but it is effective. The group travels to the construction site in matching uniforms and chains themselves to the trees and begins live streaming everything. The bulldozers, the workers, the mercenaries who arrive when the alarm goes out, directly to a global audience. They have planted explosives in advance to make the disruption difficult to ignore. They have timed everything. They have thought of everything except one thing, which turns out to be the thing that matters most. When the armed site leader approaches and Justine's chain malfunctions, leaving her exposed and alone in front of a man with a gun, her companions do not stop streaming to help her. They keep filming. They keep broadcasting. She is terrified in the specific way of someone who has just discovered that the people she trusted have made a calculation that does not include her safety. The calculation, it turns out, involves her father. Carlos knew who Justine's father was before he recruited her. He brought her precisely because her United Nations connection would function as a shield. Say the words in the right order to the right people and the site leader backs down, because some things are too expensive to do on camera in front of the world. The site leader gets a phone call from someone above him. He lets them go. The action succeeds. On the plane home, everyone celebrates. Justine does not celebrate. She sits with the knowledge of what she has just learned about the people around her and what they decided she was worth, and the gap between that and what she believed coming in is wide enough to fall through. Then the plane falls through it for her. The aircraft goes down over the jungle with the sudden totality of mechanical failure. One moment flight, the next descent, the next wreckage scattered across the forest floor. A small number of the students survive. They pull themselves out of the debris, damaged and disoriented, and stand in the green silence of the Amazon trying to understand what comes next. What comes next arrives quickly. The sound of the crash has traveled through the trees and reached people who have been living in those trees for longer than anyone outside has thought to ask about. By the time the survivors have gotten their bearings, they are surrounded. The tribe is not immediately frightening. They are people, small, painted, moving with the ease of those who have never needed to perform comfort in an environment because they have always belonged to it. The students are taken into the village the way captured things are taken, and it is only gradually as the path deepens and the settlement reveals itself that the nature of the situation becomes clear. Human skeletons are tied to the trees along the path like markers. The air has a quality to it that takes a moment to identify and then cannot be unidentified. These are not people who will ransom them back to civilization. These are people who do not think about civilization at all, who have their own logic and their own economy and their own relationship with the bodies of things that come into their territory, and not relationship is not metaphorical. The tribe's leader is an older woman who moves through the village with the authority of someone who has never once had to raise her voice to be obeyed. She strikes the ground twice with her cane and the noise stops completely. She is the one who decides. She looks at the survivors with the practical attention of someone assessing a resource and makes her determinations accordingly. The ones who are not immediately selected are caged, kept alive the way things are kept that still have future value. The ones who are selected are not kept. Lars goes first. The others watch from the cage and understand, one by one and then all at once, exactly what is happening and exactly what it means for them. The breakdown that follows is the kind that strips people down to whatever is actually underneath, not the idealists and activists and cause-driven students they arrived as, but frightened human beings in a cage who have no framework for this and no plan that accounts for it. Carlos, when the shock clears enough for people to start talking, reveals something that reframes everything that has already happened. The environmental action they carried out, the chains, the streaming, the explosives, was not funded by conscience. It was funded by a rival corporation that wanted to take exclusive control of the Amazon resources they were supposedly protecting. Carlos was the intermediary. He used his online influence and his followers' genuine beliefs to execute someone else's business strategy. And the plane that went down was not a mechanical failure. It was brought down deliberately to eliminate the corporate sponsor who knew too much and to kill everyone on it, including all of them. The rescue that Carlos keeps citing, the team that is supposedly coming in 2 days, exists because the people who organized this operation want to clean up what they started, not because anyone is coming to save survivors they did not expect to exist. Justine, who came on this trip because she believed in what it stood for, sits with this information in a cage in the middle of the Amazon and says everything she is thinking about Carlos directly and without softening it. He takes it with the specific composure of someone who has already made his peace with being what he is. Morning brings a young boy, a child of the tribe, curious and harmless seeming, drawn to the pendant around Justine's neck. She plays a small flute for him. He listens. It is the only transaction in the village that does not feel like something being taken from her. The tribe selects 3 of the women from the cage and takes them to the leader. There is an examination, systematic, ritual, and Justine is identified as a candidate for a coming-of-age ceremony that the tribe performs on young women, a ceremony that many do not survive. She is taken away separately and returned to the cage sometime later with her face painted, wearing the same markings as a tribal girl outside the cage who is being prepared for the same ritual. The parallel is not subtle. They are being treated as interchangeable. Kara attempts to escape during a rainstorm when most of the tribe retreats indoors. Daniel creates a distraction with his phone. She gets out. She does not get far. When the tribe brings food to the cage, Daniel says it is probably boar meat and they need energy if they are going to get out. Everyone eats. Amy, who is a vegetarian, forces herself to swallow the meat because survival has reorganized her priorities. Then she sees a tattoo on a piece of skin in the bowl, a tattoo she recognizes because she has traced it with her fingers in the specific way people memorize the bodies of people they love. The bowl was not boar. Amy understands this all at once, and then she is gone in the ways that some people go when the mind encounters something it cannot process and closes everything down at once. Before she dies, she is already gone in the ways that matter. What her body still has to offer the others is different. Someone had smuggled a packet of hallucinogenic substances into the trip. They place it in Amy's throat before the tribe comes to collect her. When the butcher puts her in the furnace and the smoke rises, the tribe breathes it in, and the village loses its mind. The effect is total and immediate. People fighting, collapsing, laughing at nothing, rendered completely non-functional by the smoke from a fire they lit themselves. The cage opens. The survivors run. They make it to the crash site before dark. Daniel finds the GPS device quickly, which is the good news. The bad news is that it has no power. Justine hears a ringing in the wreckage, follows it to a phone in a dead teammate's pocket, and the noise of finding it alerts tribespeople who are still functional enough to follow them. She wakes up the next morning washed and prepared. The ritual is about to begin. She calls Daniel's name in panic because there is no one else to call. Daniel is in the village being punished, his joints struck methodically with bone, his body coated in a paste that draws ants, which arrive in the specific patience of things that have never needed to hurry. Then a tribesman runs in carrying the severed head of a construction worker. A new development team has entered the forest. To the tribe, this is not a threat. It is an announcement of fresh resources, and they respond with organized excitement of people who know exactly what to do. They take their spears and their bows and they leave, most of them, leaving behind only a few guards and the boy who has been watching Justine since the first morning. The boy unties her. He does this quietly and without drama, the way children do things they have decided are simply right. Justine finds Daniel outside, barely alive. his body still covered in paste and ants, and the specific devastation of someone who has been worked on methodically by people who knew what they were doing. He tells her to take his phone. He tells her what he needs from her. She cannot do it. She shakes her head and keeps shaking it. The boy seems to understand what Daniel is asking and does for him what Justine could not. Puts him to sleep in the quiet way, with something the tribe uses for this, and then it is done. Carlos is still in the cage. He shouts for Justine as she passes. He begs. He has seen the helicopter she is moving toward, mercenaries who followed the new construction team, men with guns and radios and a way out, and he understands that she is his last chance. Justine looks at him with the full weight of everything she knows about who he is and what he did and why all of them are here. She turns away. She does not look back. Before she leaves the village, she gives the boy her flute. It is a small thing. It is everything she has. She finds the mercenaries through the sound of gunfire, walks out of the jungle covered in tribal paint, and announces herself as American, shows a phone as proof of identity. One of the leaders recognizes her. Her father's name opens this door as it opened the other one, and destroys the phone before ordering her evacuated. He asks, before she boards the helicopter, whether there are any other survivors. Justine looks at him with the expression of someone who has already decided what the right answer is. She says no. She gets on the helicopter. Below her, Carlos watches it rise and holds onto the bars of the cage and screams into the air with the specific fury of someone who built this situation and is now trapped inside it. Back home, Justine becomes a story. Officials interview her. The internet turns her into a symbol of environmental courage and survival. When people ask what happened to the others, she says they all died in the crash. She says the local people saved her life. She says the tribe and its culture and its way of living inside the forest deserve protection from the kind of development that brought her there in the first place. She says this in front of cameras and in official statements, and she says it with total conviction, because the part of it that is a lie is also somehow true. The boy saved her life. The tribe, the same tribe that ate her friends, also produced the only person in that village who helped her without wanting anything back. She lives with all of this in the particular way of someone who has decided that the alternative is worse. One night, her phone rings. It is Carlos's sister calling with the specific excitement of someone who does not yet understand what she has found. A satellite image. A figure in the village, covered in dark paint, standing where the butcher used to stand. Carlos, she says, he is alive. He has always had a facility with language. He picked up enough of the tribe's words during his time in the cage to make himself useful, and useful things do not get eaten. He has become one of them. Not by force exactly, and not by choice exactly, but by the specific logic of survival in a place where the only options are adaptation and death. Justine listens to the sister's excited voice and says nothing. She has been in that forest. She knows what it costs to come back from it. She knows what it costs to stay. And she has already made her peace with the fact that some people get to decide which one they prefer, and some people have that decision made for them. And the line between those two things is thinner and more arbitrary than anyone who has never stood on it could possibly understand. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe to Scene Scout for more.